Okay, okay, good afternoon to the Wellcoin Talk community. Today we have an AMA with Binance Ape Station. Here to speak about the project is Adam. So Adam, yeah, if we can start with the core team's background and experience with crypto, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you so much, Glenn. So I'll first just do a high level on me, not spending too much time, and then I'll go into the actual team, which is more important to hear about. Who's backing this project? What is their experience? So a little bit about me. I'm a voice chat representative for Binance Ape Station. I'm very excited to speak about them today. I'm not officially part of the team, but they did choose me to represent their project on behalf of them. Given that they are an anonymous team, they wanted to make sure that, like any company, they get good representation, and the excitement of their utility is able to be shared with the community. So going into the actual team, I'm excited to say they're a very experienced team comprised of 7 crypto veterans, 2 blockchain engineers, 1 front-end developer, 1 graphic designer, 2 marketing specialists, 1 for each time zone, which is really cool. Love to see that because then you have constant exposure, and also 1 community manager as well. The CEO and founder, his name is Aldo Bapes, really nice guy. You can actually find him in the community after every single Telegram he's in there, after every single AMA, I should say, he's in there. And he loves talking with the community, so please send him a message, send him a DM. Great guy to talk to. He's a CEO. What his vision was to bring Binance Ape Station to the masses and provide a meme token that was not just a fun concept and had a great token named Bapes for their native token, but also had an easy to understand concept that was engaging and very lucrative for any of the winners. So with that, I'll hand it back to you, Glenn, if you'd like me to go into the project itself, utility, wherever you'd like me to start.
Yeah, I was really excited to hear about the Propulsor smart contract, how that works for investors, and what's planned in that area for the Binance Ape Station.
So the Propulsor is the main, it's kind of the main utility of the Bapes token. So what's cool is, first of all, before I even get into that, I just want to just kind of scroll through the website and just show you how cool this is. Really nice and engaging website. It's fun, it's clean, it's professional. They're not using stock images that are just thrown on haphazardly. Everything is very professional and well done. So with that in mind, you'll notice buttons are moving, things change its size. And in fact, when you hover over the Propulsor button, it gets as excited as I am, and it shakes back and forth. The whole page, in fact, is going to vibrate back and forth and shake when there's a Propulsor event, when there's a launch and a winner being announced. So essentially how this works is, oh, was that someone there? Sorry. Oh, sorry. So essentially how this, oh, okay. So essentially how this works is every single buy or sell or trade generates 5% going directly to the Propulsor contract. So there's a 10% fee. 5% goes to the Propulsor contract. That 5% will be given directly in total amount to the winner of the launch. Whatever Apestronaut is what they're calling the winners. Whatever Apestronaut wins the entire pot of the trading fees for that 5% within a 12-hour interval. They're also announced here with the date, every 2 winners a day, so every 12 hours, 2 winners a day, their wallet address, and the amount of rewards that they won, which would be equivalent to the amount of fees generated from that 5% of the tokenomics every single day, twice a day. It's incredible. Now, how you can participate, how do you get into these propulsion events? You first have to buy Bapes, where if you click on this after launch, which is happening in 2 days after the sale happening today on Pink Sale, you're going to be able to buy on the open exchange. You'll be able to buy Bapes. From here, you're going to be able to take your tokens, go into the Propulsor, stake those tokens in, and now you're good to go. Here's the cool thing. You'll know exactly how many Bape tokens to stake in. After launch, they're actually going to update this, so it'll be a live view of how many tokens you need. Now, as a little preview, they're planning to have the minimum amount be $150 equivalent into this contract to be able to be eligible for the propulsion events. Now, that's really cool because the next piece I'm going to speak to is incredible. You don't have to keep contributing $150 every single time that the propulsor spins up. You put in 150 once and you're good for every single propulsion event. The only time that'll change is if you need to buy more based off of the consensus votes that the community votes on. Because in later phases in the roadmap, they're actually going to be giving that vote up to the community to decide, hey, should we raise the floor of minimum contribution to get into the propulsion events or keep it the same? So the community is going to be able to vote on that based on how many tokens they own. And you can imagine a couple of whales or a lot of whales are going to be very interested in having their investment grow. So they might say, well, let's raise it a little bit. Let's raise it to $500, 300, or maybe keep it the same. Whatever the case is, just know that there's going to be a lot of say in the operation of how all these things go. And also, the cool thing is that you don't get your tokens burned. Those Bapes tokens are able to be used event over event over event. You can leave them in there and your chances of winning continue. You're not having to repurchase, restake, go through the whole process. Eventually you get sick of it. You can just leave it in there, check back in once a day, maybe check it back in a couple times like a week if you want, and you're able to see a running history of all of the winners, which is so cool. So it really encourages holding the token versus selling because it's encouraging multiple people to get in at a low price point, which is what you want. You want a volume of people at different buying amounts. And then for those folks that do see the bigger picture, perhaps, and not only want to participate in these events, but they also want to be able to get in governance voting later, well, they can own more tokens. They might choose to purchase even more and get that access. So just to kind of answer how this all fits together, again, $150 equivalent will get you in, and then you're ready to go into these Propulsor events. So again, you stake in, you're ready to go. You connect your wallet as Web3 enabled. Connect your wallet, stake in those 150, and boom, you're ready to get going. So with that in mind, that is essentially high level what this project is looking to do. I'd love to now take it into, if we go back to the homepage, wanted to kind of talk about the space map, or as they call it, the space map, which is their roadmap. All of these phases are named after rocket missions and rockets themselves. You can see Q2, Columbia, is the phase that we're in right now. You can see this little monkey drinking his moon juice on the side there. He's excited for the first launch. What they're doing is, and what they have already done, is release the open source code to the smart contracts for the project. They've already done that. Available on GitHub. Completed audits. This is really important, especially if it's an anonymous team. How safe is this, and where can I validate that safety? Well, if you go on the Pink Sale page for the fair launch, it actually has a direct link to the KYC and audit. Now, when it comes to these KYCs and audits, right, the KYC was performed by Pink Sale, and also the audits were performed by Solid Proof, and there was also a KYC by Solid Proof as well. So you're getting a project that double KYC and also did an audit through a very reputable auditing service that many projects use. So I did also want to jump over to the actual audit and just kind of, peek at the last summary page. You don't want to just look at this, obviously. Like if you, are into reading these, you can definitely go through and make sure that everything looks good. But this is their summary page that is kind of displaying high level, what were the issues? Was there anything critical or that, should really stop you from investing? And luckily, no. None at all. No critical issues, no high issues, no medium issues even. There were a few little low issues that they have as more of recommendations, like, hey, you might want to change this, you might want to optimize this, it might work better if you do this. And they did those recommendations, and now they're able to bring that into launch. So very, very happy to see that. But going back to the roadmap, they had those audits, which was great to see. They are also going to be launching on PancakeSwap post fair launch, which again, fair launch is happening in 2 hours and 50 minutes. So very, very soon, something to keep your eye on and follow here. They're also locking liquidity for 10 years. Now, liquidity for Pink Sale has changed a little bit with their new fair launch strategy that they use on Pink Sale. It's a very, very fair now to investors. It was already pretty fair, but now it's even more so protective and fair. What I mean by that is at least 50% of the raise amount in a fair launch has to go towards liquidity. So this project said, okay, cool, we'll do the minimum of 50, but we'll actually up it a little bit and we'll do 51%. So they're actually contributing 51% of raise to go to liquidity. So there'll be an ample supply of liquidity going in, and also it's locked for 10 years. Outside of that, some other things here is activating the Propulsor. First Propulsor launch and winner will be announced within 12 hours of listing. Listing on PancakeSwap. They're also going to start aggregating those fees for the Propulsor contract, of course, every 12 hours. All those fees go to one lucky winner that buys BAPES tokens and stakes them into the Propulsor. They're also going to be registering with CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, listing on token tracking sites like Blockfolio and Delta, and then also looking to get on a centralized exchange. Now, this one's interesting because I should mention the only fees that are going to be generated from that 10% tokenomics structure is going to be on the decentralized side. When it comes to the centralized side, those don't generate fees that will tie into the project. Those are just going to be standard buy-sell exposure elements. It's not actually going to be adding into the Propulsor event. So it's more of like a marketing type of event, but it also adds in security, just as an audit does. This adds security another way because it's showing, hey, we're not afraid to list on a centralized exchange. We want to do this exposure. We want more eyes on the project, and we're going to pay good money to do that. So they want to list on a centralized exchange. Outside of that, going into, I'm not going to read through all these, but going through, for example, Q3, Q4, I'll highlight some of the key points here. So Q3, this is really big. We talked about utility of BAPES token being, well, the fact that you can launch your wallet basically into space and win all these rewards if you're randomly chosen after staking in. Well, you're also given the ability to have governance with your token. So what does governance do? Well, this is more of a hybrid DAO type system in which you're going to get a vote for the path that the token takes, the path that the project takes. So essentially that means when they expand to other chains, which we'll get into soon, when they decide on, do we raise the minimum amount to get into propulsion events, all those things will be decided upon and given to vote to the community. So they're saying, let's do that, but let's make sure the community gets their voice in these events. So that's what the governance will be. So that's where it's really going to matter if you own a lot of BAPES tokens or not, because your vote is going to be, having a bigger weight to it. So with that being said, what are some other things that are going to be there? Well, they're going to increase the amount of analytics data that's going to be made available on the site, which is great. They're also going to be bringing in additional sponsorships and influencers. They also want to release, and this is actually coming early. It's really nice to see when the project delivers something early, even before they launch, is they wanted to develop a Telegram and Twitter bot to be able to follow and hype up the propulsions that are happening. And they already have it. They already have a bot that they developed for their Twitter account that they ran on their testnet to be able to make sure that it works, and it works perfectly. They ran some final tests here on the 27th on the testnet, and it worked flawlessly. So now they're going to bring that to the mainnet for launch, and it'll be ready to go and ready to share those events. So with that in mind, talking about a few other things, I want to jump now down to Atlantis. What are they going to be doing in 2023? Now, the big thing that I want to mention is the fact that they're going to be looking to go cross-chain to other low-fee blockchains to be able to take a successful project, go cross-chain, and here's a more important piece, taking all of the fees, because it'll have the same fee model, all of the fees generated on those other chains and feed them into one unified propulsion. So not only will they have one chain, two chain, or potentially even three chains running in unison, having propulsions, but it's all going to feed into one launch. It's not going to, I should mention, it's not going to be separate launches on each one. It's going to be one unified mega winner for all of the chains together. So this is going to be so amazing when that happens. Now, going into the tokenomics, what powers all this? Well, you have a total supply of 200 million. How that 200 million basically spaces itself out is there's a circulating supply of 170 million. That 170 million is lower because there's team tokens locked up, and those team tokens are locked up using a vesting schedule of about every 30 days, there's 8% release from both the team wallet and also the marketing wallet. So that gives a pretty dang low meme coin tokenomic structure that isn't usually seen. Usually when you see meme coins, they're in the trillions, they're in the billions. This is in the millions, but in the low millions. So we're looking at a meme token that's at 170 million circ supply that's only going to go down because, again, how the token system works, how the tax works, I should say, is 10%. 5% is propulsion, 5% is burned. We already know what the propulsion fees are being used for that one lucky winner, but 5% is actually being burned, bringing down the circulating supply all the way down to 100 million BAPES tokens eventually. Well, what happens at 100 million BAPES tokens? Does the 5% burn fee change to going to the team for pay or something? No, instead, it's going to be incredibly beneficial to the investor because that 5% is going to add to propulsion, and now the propulsion will be 10% with an incredibly low total supply of 10 million at that point, which is going to be insane. So again, how this 200K breaks down is 110 million is earmarked for the pre-sale, which again, pre-sale being the actual fair launch that's happening in less than 4 hours now. Less than 3 hours now, even time's flying. Less than 3 hours now. 28%, which is going to be 56 million, is set for liquidity. 24 million is set for marketing, and then 10 million is set for the team. These two, very critically to know, are locked for 30 days, and then they unlock every 30 days, 8% each time until they're fully unlocked. So that's really cool. That's an overview on the tokenomics. I'll turn it over to you, Glenn, if there's any clarity or things I should jump into further.
Yeah, I'm super excited about the Propulsor, smart contracts. It's great because it's going to be staking, so you'll get your $150 back eventually, and 62 times a month I've worked out you could actually win on a 31-day calendar month. So there'll be one lucky winner. So I was looking at the math. So if there's 100,000 volume, $5,000 will be burned, and $5,000 will go to one lucky winner every 12 hours.
Yeah, effectively. I mean, it's wild. And here's the thing: is like people in this space, people in crypto, they're smart. So I say that, hey, everyone has a fair shot at it, even if you're, a whale with one wallet or, someone just getting into it with $150 to min to be able to get in. Well, people are smart, right? So what they do is they break up their wallets. They take their maybe potential whale wallet of 100K or 50K, and they make tons of wallets, like 100 wallets, right? And then they go into the Propulsor events with all of them. Well, of course, you can still do that. And if they do decide to do that, which of course, right, then that's generating fees too. Because even wallet-to-wallet transfers still generate 10%. 5 goes to burn, helping bring up the token price, and 5% goes to the Propulsor, which is the most important piece. So it's just so cool because it's kind of inherently feeding off of, for lack of a better term, feeding off of people's greed, I guess you could say, because they know that people want to maximize their opportunity to win. Well, why not help the project out by doing something that they're going to do anyways? So it's just a really cool thing. And it's also a means by which the token can market itself kind of forever. I mean, it's basically doing social marketing 2 times a day for the rest of the life of the project for free, because there's always going to be 2 winners every single day. Always going to be 2 winners. So that's a fantastic opportunity.
And it's going to take out a lot of this supply because you need to just keep your $150 in the staking pool, and then you'll be eligible twice a day for the prizes. So I'm wondering if how the staking works, what's the sort of estimations, low, mid, and high APYs, and if there's a tax in and out of the staking pool.
So good question. When I say staking, I should have clarified. Apologies. When we hear staking, most folks, hear APY, like general like staking return. This is actually just going to be staking into the contract to be able to be eligible. So there's not going to be an APY return on that stake. It's solely going to be, hey, you're eligible for the contest, which is great, right? And the incentive for staying in is, well, you're not going to miss out on the next Propulsor event. You can sell, you can withdraw and sell, and there's no fee there. But if you sell, or sorry, you can withdraw, but if you sell, there's a 10% fee. If you buy, there's a 10% fee. And if you transfer, outside of the contract itself, if you're transferring from one wallet to another, then it's gonna create a fee as well. So it's more so incentivizing people to stay in so they can constantly get exposure to the Propulsor events with hopes that they, eventually win one of those, and it might be a really big one too. So it's one of those things where you can passively invest with a small amount, or you can actively invest with a large amount that you have spread over multiple wallets, increasing your win potential. And even if you miss a past propulsion, you can actually, it's so cool. You can actually go on the actual page here, and it'll actually show all the past events. Now, if you miss it here, using the Twitter bot and using the Telegram bot that they developed, they're also going to be blasting it on multiple platforms. So you can literally go to Twitter, put the wallet address in and find it, or you could go to Telegram, put the wallet address and find it, and you'll see that you had won a propulsion event, even if it happened months ago. And then all you'll need to do is go back to this page, connect your wallet, go to the Propulsor tab, and then claim your tokens. That's all you'll need to do.
And so you can't, if you put 1,500 in one wallet, it wouldn't give you more opportunities to win, but you could spread that across 10 wallets and then have 10 opportunities to win twice a day.
Exactly. And the reason why they did that is kind of a pain in the butt, but they wanted to make it as equitable as possible. So even the little guy, quote unquote, the little guy with $150, still a lot of money for some people. Even for someone like that, they're able to get in and still feel like it's fair, because it is. You have to have that. That's the max amount you can have in per wallet. So it just makes it equitable. It makes it fair. And also a side effect of requiring people to have separate wallets if they want to get in more than one time, it increases the total amount of token holders, which helps from a visibility standpoint, optics. But it also opens up the doors to things like trust wallet listing, other listings as well that require a certain amount of token holders, overall exposure to like companies that do analytics and things of the sort. They're looking for things like that. They're looking for projects that are growing, that just launched, that have an immense amount of token holders. It's showing growth. It's showing active, interest and involvement. So if you pair that with high volume, if you pair it with good community sentiment, and if someone's able to jump into that environment, when all these things are going on, then it can potentially be quite good.
Great, Adam. And can we go into the tokenomics? Because I think the marketing and the LP is built into the tokenomics, so it's not coming out of the buy and sell tax.
Yeah, so if we go into the tokenomics here, I can actually go back. Here we go. Okay, so did you mean like as far as like what amount is going to be added to liquidity, or?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, yes. So let me actually pull here. I have a little bit of info. So they're saying that 170 million are going towards liquidity. So effectively, the whole circulating supply is going to be added into liquidity on the BAPE side. And then on the other side, on the, on the fair launch side, at least 51% of it is going to be added in. So they're earmarking 51%, and then about, more so on the BAPE side. So you're going to have at least minimum, to answer your question, you're going to have at least minimum 51% of the total amount raised here added into liquidity, and it has to at least hit 600 BNB as the soft cap.
I was just meaning, yeah, I think you've got marketing so many wallet tokens are put aside for that, and the liquidity as well in the breakdown of the 200 million tokens, I think, back on the tokenomics section.
And yeah, I'm sorry, like breaking this down. Yeah, so when it comes to this, just to kind of go over it again, so like we have that total supply of 200 million circulating at 170. That 170 is lower because a portion is going to the team, portion is going to marketing. These are locked up though for 30 days, and they unlock every 30 days at 8% intervals, so it's a linear unlock. The rest is going to pre-sale and then liquidity. So 28% of BAPES tokens is going towards liquidity, and then that's being paired up in LP with the amount that's being raised from the fair launch, with 51% of that BNB raise going towards liquidity pairing with this. So it's good to see. You know, I love to see marketing and team wallets that aren't released on launch, of course, because you can trust the team, but I like to not trust the team and instead look at the numbers, which these are pretty fair and equitable. So in essence, for an investor looking at this, you're seeing a token, a project that has a token tax that makes sense, that is going to push the project forward. You have a low circulating supply out of the total supply. Like you have a very fair number, not in the billions or trillions, in the millions, and in the lower side of millions, relatively speaking, in the hundreds. And you also have a large amount going towards liquidity to help with trades.
Yeah, great. And we've gone over the auditing, and that's great. I was wondering if the team's doxed.
Good question. They are not. So they are KYC, and I did, talk with them, speak with them, but they are not docs. They are very interested in keeping with the with the anonymous theme. So they were very happy to share, the past success on projects and such. But yeah, at the time being, they are not interested in, being doxxed or doing that sort of thing. They've seen success of some projects that have stayed completely anonymous, and they prefer to stay in that theme. But again, if you do that, you have to have pretty dang good KYCs, good audits, and you also have to prove to your investors that you're doing what you say you're doing. So I like to see that not only does the site look professional, but their roadmap isn't crazy. You're not seeing a 10-page roadmap with half of it being things that are in the next year. This is very doable stuff, and it's already showing proof that it's able to happen, in the sense of one of the things that they wanted to do, that Telegram and Twitter bot, they got on it right away, and they said, this is really going to help launch. Let's just do it now. So those are the things I like to see. Again, what I would say for any investor, of course, is always do your own research and look for the project to actually fulfill these things they're saying. And if they do, then it gives a little bit more peace of mind.
Great. And going back to the Propulsor, I'm wondering if the smart contract can be changed in the future through, the DAO and governance voting rights for investors. Maybe they would want to increase it to 5 prizes instead of one large prize. Whether that could be voted on in the future. But there is a V2 coming out in 2023, isn't there? Yeah.
There is, yeah, and I think that's going to be more so where they would look to change, because right now, as far as I've seen, they're not changing that. They don't plan to change that Propulsor smart contract. It's more so what will change. What will definitely change is going to be the percentage and allocation of the tax, because 5% is going to be there for the propulsion. But again, like we had said, I mean, we're going to burn down to 100 million. We don't know how fast it's going to happen. Whenever it does, this is going to be changed to add into the propulsion, which will then become 10%. But as far as actually changing how the winner structure works, they haven't made any mention of that. That might be a revision that happens in V2, especially once they start to integrate cross-chain. But for the time being, no. They're very interested in having it be one centralized winner who takes all the winnings for every single 12-hour period. So, it's kind of one of those fun things. They want that winner takes all mentality, because it's what gets people excited, and it's what honestly builds the most excitement when it comes to like a jackpot.
Great, Adam. Yeah, and I'm wondering with the Propulsor, if it corrects, if the price does a 10x, then it's still, it will adjust the token, so it's still $150 for people to enter.
It does, and actually, that's something that I really liked here. This is derivative based off of what's going on. So essentially, it'll say like, hey, if the price is like 10x difference, it'll adjust this BAPES value to equal out to be about $150. And again, that's just where they're starting. that can be adjusted, but it's going to be adjusted with a lot of forewarning, so that way people can purchase at prices that maybe they want to be able to add to their pile, or people can buy at the very beginning and know that, hey, you know what? The community is probably going to vote on a higher floor for the for the minimum contribution for Bapes, because they're already in, they got in enough. So they're going to want to raise the floor, so that way it adds more buy pressure, even more than what might already be there. So with that being the case, I mean, you can kind of forward think and say, well, maybe I buy $200, maybe I buy $300, or maybe I just buy 150 and I see how it is. But just know that it is going to be adjusted based on the needed amount. So yes, to answer your question, it will be adjusted in live time right here.
It's great that there's no tax in and out the Propulsor, because I imagine a few investors are going to put 300, 450, and then they'll have to explain in the VC or in the text chat that you need a separate wallet if you want extra chances to win in there. Yeah.
Agreed. It's one of those things, like when you can minimize the amount of issues or potential issues, there's more room for excitement, and there's more room for people to want to share that message and want to share like the fun that they're having. Whereas when people are like, oh, we didn't know about the tax or whatever, like it kind of brings down the positive like sentiment, and it brings down like the excitement around what a meme coin should have, especially if there's utility. You can really start to feel good about that excitement.
I think it's around 65% of the supply is going to be burned with 100 million out of 170 million, so that's great. And
Yeah.
depending how many go into the Propulsor, it could burn really fast down to that 65%, and then Propulsor will double in value for investors. So then more investors will come in, I imagine.
Oh yeah, and I mean, like, add into that the fact that they're going to be going cross chain into next year. Well, how crazy is this? Let's say they expand to another low fee blockchain, which they plan on, maybe AVAX, Radix, an emerging one. Who knows, right? Well, they could expand to those, and then what could happen is that chain just absolutely takes off, because there's not a good meme coin there at all, and now they have tons of exposure. Well, guess what? All those fees are being integrated into one unified launch. And I mean, that jackpot could be really good. So it's a cool way to constantly market a meme coin, because having a cool name and having influencers shout it out only lasts so long. It doesn't have a very big like afterglow, right? You need something that always is like has just a heat to it. And the only way to do that is by adding in utility. And what more fun than a mega jackpot that happens twice a day and is built into the tokenomic structure itself.
Awesome. And are they planning any NFT series on the meme side and P2E games? It's quite popular on the meme sort of theme.
You know, I was a little surprised to see that they didn't, but then after talking with the team, I kind of understood why, because those things could maybe be voted on in the far future, but they just want it to be really clear-cut, understandable. What is the focus? Where is most of the work going to be done? It's going to be here. It's just on the Propulsor. It's simple, it's easy to understand, and it's easy to share to other people as well. When you start adding in those other elements, for you or I, or probably the majority of the people listening here, we get it, we understand. But for someone that's maybe brand new, right? For someone that maybe just found or learned about Dogecoin even, like when we start talking about, NFTs or PDE games and it's tying into the native token, they might not understand what the heck that is. They might not even use all that stuff. So when you can make the message as simple as possible, it can potentially catch a lot of excitement around it. So that's their main focus right now, is just the Propulsor, adding in governance. And then also something that I should mention as well is they are looking to work with partners as well, to be able to extend out the reach and effectively have partner tokens be swapped with their tokens. So they can essentially say like, hey, let's spin up a partner pool and let's get more exposure by saying stake Bapes token, get X, Y, or Z other meme token, or maybe even a DeFi token. And you're constantly getting in new people by doing things like that.
Great. And what currency is the prizes paid out in? Is it in Babes or is it in BUSD or?
Oh, like the partner projects when they team up. Well, that would be when that
Sorry,
happens. It's not
the propulsor.
the
How does it
propulsor.
pay out? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, good question. It is in Bapes tokens, yes. So it is paid in Bapes tokens. So something to make note of as well is, well, if there's a mega jackpot, like, okay, isn't that going to cause like a huge amount of sell pressure? Probably, being honest, probably. But here's the thing: is that sell pressure? Well, again, 10% of it is helping the token out. 10% of every sell is helping the token. 5% is helping the burn, and eventually 10% total is going to be used for the propulsion. So no matter what, there's always a jackpot coming, and there's always going to be new people coming in wanting to get some exposure to that. So that's the cool thing, is even if people got into a jackpot, maybe they won and then they got out, sold all their tokens or whatever, they can still come back and buy another 150, or maybe the community votes on the floor being 500. Well, now they have to buy more. Their hope is that there's always going to be a constant flow of people wanting to get into these jackpots, and also a lessening of sell pressure from smaller wallets, given that they just want to stake in and be part of the launches every single day.
Yeah, definitely. With the 5% burns, then yeah, a lot of big investors or small investors might want to hold on to them vapes and watch the price rise. And then moving on to marketing there, yeah, as long as you've got a good marketing plan, obviously new investors are coming in, so it wouldn't matter about the jackpot prizes.
Exactly. I foresee that of course, there'll be fluctuations, but there's probably going to be a sustained period of time where it's pretty flat, which is great. Because if it's flat, that means that, as long as there's a slight positive uptrend of people coming in, there's always going to be decent jackpots that people want to win. Even if it's, a couple $100 or something, it's still money that people are earning for free just by staking in their initial investments. So you could potentially win back your investment and multiples of it just by staking it and leaving it there. So it's really it's an interesting thing. It's incentivizing holding and staking, but in a different way. Instead of holding, staking, and earning rewards in like, or earning in some other way, which could potentially cause some sell pressure if it's earned in like, you're saying no, there's one winner. That winner might sell, but even if they do, it's helping out the token. So it's kind of one of those things where it's a little bit different system of kind of propping up the token and helping, and it's one that directly feeds into the success and growth of the project.
Okay, great, Adam. And then what's the marketing plans after launch with the Binance Ape Station project?
So there's a few things. I will say a lot of it is front loaded right now, given that the fair launch is going to be in a couple hours. Which, by the way, if you're interested in this, and you're like, oh, I got something to do, or like, I got to go right after this AMA or whatever. Make sure to bookmark that pink sale link. You're going to want to join the Binance Ape Station Telegram, and make sure you go through PIN to find the official link. Don't search it. Don't try to find it online. You just want to make sure it's the official one, because there's a lot of scams. But what I did want to say is, around marketing, we have a barrage of AMAs today. We have a couple more after this, leading all the way up to our actual fair launch. There's call channels shouting from the rooftops this this project. Some very, very big channels as well. One of which I can't even name, but all the others I can. So I'd like to kind of go through some of those. So when it comes to actual marketing and lead up, and then I'll go into after, of course, too. But we have Crypto God, Sapphire, Pythagoras, Gems 555, Rug Free, Shill Talk, Baby Crypto, Ape Chat. A couple others that I didn't even mention in there. Banner ads on CoinScope, Coin Hunters, Coin Sniper. That's just before. That's just today and in the coming hours. But also after, they're going to have some of those do follow-up posts to speak to the success of the project, and also they're looking to bring in influencers and little education pieces later on as well. So that way, even a couple days after launch, well, here's a how-to video of how to easily buy and obtain your first BNB, and then turn it over to Babes. Like basic things like that. That's how you really create an easy to understand structure to get into meme tokens. Like that's the biggest thing, is have a very low barrier to entry. And if the barrier to entry is low, then the potential of the project doing well is higher because people can easily get in and they can feel safe knowing, hey, there's audits. Let me look into the audits. Okay, it looks good. Now, how do I buy this thing? And you can see here, it's a nice, bright yellow button. You just click that, you're in, you're ready to go. So it's one of those things that I like to see that because it shows that they have an attention to detail, but they also are making it as simple as possible to get in.
That's great. Adam, so let's open it up to the rest of the team if anyone's got a question for Adam and the Binance Ape Station project.
I'd love to.
Yeah, hey Glenn, just two quick things for me. I see a lot of people got hands raised here, but I'm just curious about two quick things. So, first off, is there a way for the team to sort of incentivize the price pool? Say there's 12, 15 a day without trading, right? So the price pool doesn't grow. Is there a possibility for the team to say, you know what, we still want these drawings sort of to take place, so we're gonna send some tokens from our tokens, or we're gonna buy some tokens and put them in the price pool, so people see, some games with every round.
I mean, in emergency situations, I'm sure they could, right? Because keep in mind, they plan on this being very successful in the next couple of hours. So they're going to be able to pull from, some of that raise that they got as a team. And then also, their release in team tokens and marketing tokens are in spurts every 30 days. So they could, if need be, choose to send that to the propulsor. There's nothing stopping it once it's unlocked. So, instead of selling and using it for the project to help market further or pay the team, they could definitely use that if needed. But again, they feel pretty strong about it. They feel like they have something solid here. But again, crypto is a grand experiment, so it's always good to have contingency plans. And yeah, they can definitely do something like that if need be.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool too. Buying sort of a golden ticket and holding it for the long run.
Yeah.
It kind of increases your chances of winning. I was just playing a little bit devil's advocate there. And the last thing for me, are the winners and prizes chosen automatically and distributed automatically by the contract?
Yes. So it's all randomized, and it is, instead of like a wheel spinner or something that you might see in like a room or something. People can actually go in and see the code for it. Also, that code was audited for the propulsor itself by solid proof. So it's one of those things where it's not enough to trust a project to actually say that things are equitable and fair when it comes to randomness. It's good to actually see that randomness was proven correct and it works properly. And also, even if you don't believe that as an investor, which you should always, kind of do your own research and look into, you can actually follow those wallets. I mean, you can follow all those wallets and see, like, wait a second, like, did was this clearly a team wallet? Like, whose wallet is this? Like, what's going on here? And you can kind of investigate further. But they don't even want to have to like necessitate that. Instead, the contract itself can speak to the fact that it's randomized, it's audited, and it's done in a way that's equitable instead of having like wheel spinner or some other mechanic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sounds fair. And just another quick question popped into mind.
Sure.
Is there any chance that, I don't know, if there's a huge amount of volume or anything like that, for the team to say, you know what, instead of doing 2 propulsions per day, we're gonna up it and we're gonna do 6 per day or 24 per day, one every hour, one every half hour? Is that a possibility within the contract to kind of adjust when the prizes are distributed?
To my understanding, no. That would be more something for V2, to my understanding, because I don't think they can actually adjust that for good reason. Because they could put 0 propulsions, or they could do something weird there. So to my understanding, no. But when they do release the V2 in later quarters, that'll be kind of the revision, and they'll say, okay, same token, but we're gonna change the propulsor based on community feedback. So that could definitely be something looked at. But for the time being, no. It's going to be just 2 a day, 12 every 12 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds fair. Okay, thank you.
Of course, yeah. Thank you, man. That's good.
Okay, yeah, I mean, going into the Propulsor, 2 winners a day, 100,000 volume is $10,000 if they chose to sell. It's not that much volume you need, especially with the 5% burn. So that'd be $10,000 burned in a day with 100,000 volume. So it should even out quite well, like you say, Adam, and yeah, be steady on the chart.
Oh, yeah. And the fact that you only need to
So,
own the token one time in that specific amount is pretty cool. Like you had said, Acti, it's a golden ticket to potentially win in all these other drawings each day, twice a day.
Yeah, and you still own the $150 that you put in, and you can take it out tax free. So it's not like you've sacrificed $150 that you can't get back. So yeah, as long as you're in there, you're in the Propulsor draws, and then at any time you can take the $150 out if you want to sell in the future or something. So it's a free draw in a way because you've still got your tokens, to withdraw at any time in the future.
Exactly. And I mean, you can even do some fun things, right? Like you could get kind of creative with it. You could say, okay, I won a jackpot, whether it be a big one or a small one. And you could even say, hey, I have a friend that's getting into crypto. Well, I'm going to gift you a Propulsor spot. I'm going to gift you 150 or so tokens so that way you can get in every day. I mean, there's an endless possibility of fun things that could happen here. The project also could give away Propulsor spots. It could say, community event, get your golden ticket opportunity to get in to all future launches, with that 150 mark equivalent. We're giving away one Propulsor spot. Like, there's so much cool things that can happen when it comes to community sentiment around an idea like this.
Buy your family a ticket and get them in the draw. I mean, it's far better odds than a lottery. If there's 1,000 people in there, then you've got 1,000 chance of winning the jackpot.
Exactly.
Let's move on to investors then. Let's look. Aisha, you had a question for Adam at Binance Ape Station. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Aisha?
thanks,
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. I want to know that when any holder has been randomly picked for receiving all the fees that was pooled during 12 hours, how long does holder has to wait? I mean, will there be any cooldown period after which user can be randomly selected again?
So the claim will happen automatically right after. So basically, if you're a winner, it's announced. The screen shakes when the launch happens. The winner is announced. It's added to the docket of winners, and you can instantly withdraw your tokens. There's no like lockup period. There's not a time you need to wait or anything. You're just ready to go. Once you win once, can you win again? Oh yeah, you can keep winning. There's no limit. So that's the cool thing is they thought about like, well, maybe, we say if you win once, you can't win for a week. Well, why, right? Like, why not incentivize everyone to stay in? And that's the cool thing is, it's kind of building off of people's like effectively greediness, right? And saying like, if I win once, now I know I can win. Now I want to stay in because I'm only putting in $150. $150 over tons and tons and tons of wallets is pretty big. Or someone with 10K, 20K who splits it into increments still has a huge impact. So no, there's no cooldown. It's just every 12 hours. So every 12 hours, there's a new winner selected. And those 12 hours, what's happening in those 12 hours is all the buys, all the sells, and all the wallet transfers that happen between user to user or user to their own wallets to split their chances and increase their chances. All of those transactions are 10% taxed. 5% goes to burning down the token to a minimum of 100 million from 170. And then 5%, the most important part, is going to the Propulsor to actually feed into the fees. Here's the cool thing, as we had spoken about earlier. Once you get to 100 million tokens, which could happen quick, might take a little, whenever it happens, the fee structure is going to switch to one in which it's a 10% Propulsor fee. So now you've doubled the amount of fees going to a winner every 12 hours.
Okay, understood. Thank you. Thank you for answering.
Thank you. That's a good question.
I mean, if you get a 1 million volume day, then yeah, you could be making a lot of money, like $100,000. Well, if it was over 12 hours, the price could be $100,000 to one lucky winner. That's amazing. It's life changing.
Imagine, Imagine that winner. They're going to be the biggest advocate of this project, even more than the team. So it's one of those things like imagine no matter what amount of winnings. I mean, for some people, $1,000 could be life changing based on maybe the area they live or the time in life that they're in. No matter where they live, $1,000 helps. Imagine 10, imagine 20 or more. So you're creating so much potential positive sentiment And the fact that it's happening twice a day is really cool. It could do some great things.
Awesome. Yeah. Let's see. Syed, you had a question for Adam at Binance Ape Station project. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Glenn. Okay, so I want to understand that is a propulsor mechanism different from the lottery or is it same as the lottery? And does it fall under the lottery rule and regulation?
Oh, good question. Boy, rules and regulated. I haven't heard that in crypto in forever. Actually, I don't think I've ever heard it. No, we're in the Wild West here, my man. So, crypto is the final frontier. Not just because it's a space project, but in the fact that no, I mean, there's no lottery regulations. It's all decentralized. That's probably part of the reason why the team is anonymous as well, because they're from Europe, where probably there is lottery laws and those sort of things. So it's decentralized. Everyone has access to it, no matter what country. If you win, you win. You can do whatever you want with the tokens. You can reinvest them, split them in different wallets, do as you please. And it's similar to a lottery in that you buy a ticket, you buy an entry point, and then you give it access to a large lottery pool. The difference is, I would say this is a little bit better because, and you can decide for yourself if it is, because with a lottery ticket, you buy the lottery ticket and it's effectively burned and used, and you can't use that lottery ticket again. This is more of like a golden ticket in a sense that it's your entry into the propulsion event, into the lottery. Every 12 hours, every day, you're entered in twice a day to be able to win, and you only bought one ticket. So it's like a hybrid super lottery, basically. So hopefully that answers your question. It's kind of like a better version.
Yeah, got it. Thank you for explaining that. Thank you so much. Over to
Of
you, Glenn.
course.
Move to Venice. Venice, you had a question for Adam at Binance Ape Station. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, as I read the website, and as part of the fee are burned and the rest is pulled into the propulsion. So I was wondering for how long you will keep on burning the part of the fee, because eventually you will have to stop the burning process. And after burning process is stopped, where will this fee, yeah, or percentage of the fee that was to be burned, where will it go? I mean, where will you put that money after you stop the burning?
Good question. Yeah, we actually covered this earlier, so I'd love to mention it again. Basically, what happens is you're correct. Well, great. I mean, gosh, half of this token tax is going to burn the token. It's already a limited supply. We're not in the billions or trillions. We're in the millions. We're in the low 100 millions. So, like, what happens when it burns down to its floor of 100 million? Because there can't be more than 100 million tokens burned to effectively still keep enough tokens to be able to keep the process going. So what happens then? Well, the fees don't go to the team. They don't go to the developers. Instead, they go back into the project by strengthening the propulsion amount from 5% to 10%. So they're adding in that extra 5% that would have normally been used for burning back into the propulsion, and now those events are 10% events every 12 hours, where all of those 10% fees from all the buy-sell trades are going into the propulsion events every single 12 hours, which is pretty dang cool, because now you have positive sentiment double even when the project hasn't just launched. So they have a constant flow of new exciting things happening, in the sense that this is coming later. That burn event isn't going to stop till they reach 100 million, which could be soon, but it's probably going to be at least a couple weeks or so. So that's cool, as you get surges of positive sentiment because of how the tokenomics are structured.
Yeah, great. And the lucky astronaut who gets all the accumulated fee from the propulsor. So if he want to withdraw his whole reward, then will he also need to pay some fee? And will this fee will go through the same process of burning and the rest is pulled back into the propulsion?
No, at least the way it's structured right now that I've heard is no. If you stake in, there's no fee. If you stake out, there's no fee. If you claim your tokens, there's no fee. The only time you're getting a fee is if you're buying, selling, or trading outside of the whitelisted wallets that are the contract, meaning the stake in Propulsor contract. Outside of that, no. I mean, there's no fee for doing that. So the only time again you're going to be hit by a fee is if you're buying, selling, or trading to another one of your wallets or a friend.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Good question.
Okay, let's move on to Western Beast. You had a question for Adam at Binance Ape Station. Go ahead.
Hey Glenn. Hey Adam. Sorry
Hello.
Glenn, my network has been quite jumpy today, so I hope I'm audible.
You are, yep.
Adam, I've actually been following you for a while today. I followed some of your AMAs. Here's a question that I have. What's the minimum someone can invest in this project to participate in that lottery?
Yes. So you know what's interesting is I actually thought it was higher than it needed to be. So I thought initially it was one BNB to participate into the fair launch, but you can actually contribute any amount of BNB to get in, which is really cool. When it comes to the lottery system, that is the same. We've been talking about all day. It's 150 equivalent. So they said it's going to be about 150, maybe 155, 160, depending upon the success, of course, of the soft cap being hit. But once that's hit, it'll kind of determine what that price is going to be. But they're estimating around $150 or so equivalent.
Okay. Do you support multiple wallets in your system? Is it possible for one owner to have multiple wallets?
Well, even if I didn't support it, it's just being realistic, right? I mean, people are smart in the space. They want to maximize their potential to win a potentially huge jackpot, especially on launch and a few days after launch, and especially once the team starts delivering and doing the things they're saying in their roadmap, which they plan to. People are smart. Whether I say you should do it or not doesn't matter. I'm just being realistic in the sense that people are going to, right? So yes, you can definitely do that. Is it encouraged? I mean, if you want to, it's not discouraged, I guess, in a sense, because people are going to do it anyways. So you can do it. You're not going to be blacklisted or anything like that. You can definitely do that.
Okay. Does the more I invest into the lottery, it increase my chances of winning that lottery, or is the algorithm seeing everybody equally?
Well, everyone's equal per wallet. So if you put in $1,000 on one wallet, it's not going to do anything different than 150. Now, if you take that 1,000 and split it in like 9 or so wallets, right? Well, now you have 9 chances. But the thing is, you got to go through the trouble of doing that, or finding means to do that. So, in the sense of wallet per wallet basis, it's 100% equitable. But of course, people like to find loopholes. They like to understand like how to do like game mechanics. So that's definitely a strategy. Is you can leave your one golden ticket in there under one wallet and hope that it hits, which it very well could be, because every wallet has one chance. Or you could say, well, I kind of like this token, and I think I might be able to get in right now when the market is maybe a little iffy, right? And the token price will probably be a little bit cheaper than it would maybe a week from now, 2 weeks from now. Well, let me get in right at launch. Let me get into this fair launch and get it at the launch price and claim it. Or maybe I get it a little later. Whenever you choose, you're able to own it, and you can own a larger amount of it. And if you own a larger amount of it, well, now you can split it if you want. You could just keep it all, sell part of it that you don't need for the golden ticket. Do whatever you please. At the end of the day, it's a meme token that you own, that you have complete autonomy and control. So you can take that meme token, you can wait for it to appreciate in price and sell. You can take that meme token, wait for some of it to appreciate, sell that portion, and then keep a golden ticket. You could break up your winnings or the amount you purchase into multiple wallets and win multiple times potentially, or increase your likelihood. There's a lot of ways to play this game. That's the cool part about it.
All right. And this doesn't put you at a disadvantage or your project at a disadvantage, right?
Well, no. I mean, obviously, like if you're one wallet versus someone who has 20 wallets, the person with 20 wallets, of course, has a higher chance. But as far as wallet to wallet based, everyone's the same. So it doesn't matter if you have one wallet with 1,000 staked in or 150 equivalent of Babes token. It's weighted the same.
All right. Here's my next question. I don't know if you've discussed about the security of your project, but I believe you have your audit on GitHub. Am I correct?
Yes, if you actually go to the Pink Sale Fair Launch link, which is actually, I believe, linked by, by this channel too. I believe that we linked it, but if not, it's also in the actual official Binance Ape Station page. You can go to the to the Pink Sale page, click on the audit. It'll take you to the GitHub, and you'll be able to actually see that audit. And I actually have it pulled up here as well. More than happy to kind of switch back to that. So of course this is a full audit. You know, this is a whole thing. But to make it simple um, for the AMA, this is the summary page. So the summary page will show if there's any critical, high, or medium issues, and also if there's any low issues. It only found a couple low issues, and these are things that they've already, worked on fixing. So these aren't critical things. These are just more just suggestions, like, hey, you might want to do this. It might help a little bit in the long term. But as far as critical issues when it comes to the propulsor, which is the part that's actually going to be holding the rewards, and the actual token itself, nothing, no issues at all, which is really good to see.
Okay, so the audit hasn't been updated yet, right? Or is this the latest update?
This is the latest. Yeah, this is the latest that's comprising both the propulsor and the token itself. So they're looking to do more audits as well. But I mean, these low issues aren't substantial at all. They're more like recommendations. These aren't anything that are critical.
All right. Thanks a lot, Adam. Thanks so much,
Of
Glenn.
course, thank you.
Hey, Sophie DM me. So yeah, Sophie, you'd like to ask a question to Adam here at Binance Ape Station. Go ahead.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. So I have some questions. First question from my side is you explain everything very well, but I want to know that by BEPS can we view our profile and losses in real time of our crypto investments. Let's suppose if we have invested on Binance future trading, then will BEPS also show my these types of investments on the dashboard? And how would you get the data from these bigger exchanges? Would security is on next level?
That's a good question. So we kind of touched on it before, but more than happy to talk about it again. So they are looking at listing on two centralized exchanges, one medium, one larger. As I had mentioned, those are not going to factor into the fees that are being collected. The majority of the volume and all of the fees are going to be based off of these decentralized exchange that they're listing on, which is PancakeSwap. So all of those fees are generated from there. The centralized exchange is going to be more for, like you had said, security. Maybe someone that just cares about the appreciation price, and they say, oh, you know what? Yes, I found like a nice dip. I'm going to buy it on a centralized exchange, and I can hold it and let it grow and grow and grow. And now they've gone multi-chain. They have a ton of exposure. There's a lot of people buying. Now I'm able to buy and sell and maybe get a 2x or a 3x on my buy, and I'm still buying on a centralized exchange. So I would really say the centralized exchange is more just an extension of what they want to do marketing wise. I would say more so in security. It's not going to be factored into the propulsor. All of that is going to be from the decentralized side.
Okay, second question from my side is I want to ask about the smart contracts are prone to bugs. How efficient and secure are your smart contract? Have you ever been audited by an external party so we believe this project is safe and good for the future investors?
Yes, yeah, just out of respect of time, just because we had already kind of addressed that. This was the audit that was done by Solid Proof, a very reputable auditing company that isn't a cheap one either. It's one that's very well known. They audited the contract and they found no major issues, no high or medium issues, and only a couple suggestions. So this is what you want to see. You want to see a contract that's audited by a reputable site. You don't want to believe the project saying, I promise it's safe. You want to see actual proof. On top of that, they also did a KYC with Pink Sale and also with Solid Proof as well to add an extra investor confidence.
Okay, last question from my side. In terms of registering an account on your platform and start risking Waves token, don't you need some holder documents to register? If so, what documents do you need? Because what I found on the website, you only need to connect the wallet.
You're correct. That's all you need to do. This is decentralized, just as decentralized as PancakeSwap is. You connect your wallet, you're ready to go. You buy on PancakeSwap after fair launch if you weren't able to get into fair launch, because it might do pretty well. So if you didn't get a chance to get in, you can buy, or if you want to buy even extra on top later, you can click the buy link. It'll take you to the PancakeSwap listing. You can buy, take those tokens, connect, deposit, you're ready to go for the Propulsor for all the future drawings.
That's amazing. Thank you for answering me and best of luck for your project. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sophie. Yeah, we've run out of time, unfortunately. It's been great speaking to Adam today with the Binance Ape Station project. It's really cool for investors with the prizes twice a day. To 62 times a month as well. So all you need to do is put $150 into Propulsor, and you'll be in 2 draws a day. So that's really great. So if you're interested in this, we always say, the AMA, do your own research, check the white paper, and if you're happy to invest, that's great. We only do the AMAs as an educational part, for investors. But yeah, it seems great. The audit was fine, and yeah, the Propulsor looks great. So yeah, check it out. Check the Telegram out. We can get you there to the official Telegram. All the socials are linked in our main chat. And it's been great speaking to you today, Adam.
It's been a pleasure, Glenn, as always, and thank you, community. You guys have been absolutely amazing. Great questions as well, but that's no surprise from Whale Coin Talk. So I did want to just say just a welcome, right? Please check out the project, check out the official Telegram. Make sure you're not searching for it. Please do not search for it, because there is a lot of fake groups already asking for your wallet and stuff like that. The team's never going to do that. The only thing you should ever connect your wallet to before the project launches is the official pink sale launch for this fair launch, which, by the way, is happening in now less than 2 hours. If you're here listening to this, you are here and ready to be able to participate. Bookmark this page. How you find this also is on the official Telegram channel. Make sure you're joining the official Telegram channel, and you'll find this all linked there. And again, there's no minimum contribution, so you can contribute 1 BNB, you can contribute 5, whatever you want, you're able to put in here. And just know that it will not launch unless it hits 600 BNB. If it doesn't, you don't lose anything. You get your money back. You claim it back from Pink Sale. If it does launch, which they're putting a lot of marketing into this, and it does, then we are ready to go on the 2nd of next month, and that is going to be when PancakeSwap goes live. So thank you all.
I think we've got